What's going on, everybody? You found Bottom Tier Collector. I'm your host, BTC. First things first, there's a thunderstorm rolling in. It could be big and mighty. It could be just a little drizzle. I don't know. So you might hear a thunderstorm in the background. Hopefully not. This is a video I wanted to do with Little Man. We finally got the chance to take a little break from how crazy our life has been the past 2 weeks. We got to stretch our legs. And I chose the activity. I figured we'd go to an arcade. I found a fairly affordable, small business type of arcade, not some huge franchise like a Dave & Buster's or a Chuck E. Cheese, just a small family-owned business. And I had a fun time. I wanted to do this video. I think I already said that with Little Man, but it's just been crazy. For some reason or another, I just can't find the time to come up here into the comic room and do this video with Little Man, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it by myself. I'm going to show you guys some pictures and some video I took. It shouldn't take that long, and then at the end of the slideshow I'll give my thoughts and opinions on the arcade. So, hope you enjoyed the slideshow. That was from our trip to Rocket City Arcade in New Hope, Alabama. I live in Decatur, so it's going an hour west of here, where I live. I actually took the long way around and didn't realize it because the name is Rocket City Arcade. I assumed they were in Huntsville. And when I was getting into Huntsville and turned on the GPS, it had me going all the way over Montecito Mountain, out the backside into New Hope, which technically isn't even Rocket City. It's not even a suburb of Huntsville. I mean, it was just a long drive to get to this place. It was a bit on the smaller side, but they had plenty of games. You saw them in the video. They had my all-time favorite arcade. Well, they didn't have House of Dead 2, but they had House of Dead 1 there. that was a big treat that I got to play some House of the Dead, I should say. They had Area 51 there. That's another classic from my childhood. Hydro Thunder. I was surprised they had Hydro Thunder there. They actually had 4 Hydro Thunder chairs. They had Rampage. I liked seeing Rampage. I love playing Rampage. I used to have it back in my childhood on my Nintendo 64. A game I'm hunting down these days to try and rebuild my Nintendo 64 collection. So that was a treat to play Rampage on an arcade machine. They even had the 8-bit Rampage that you can also find on the regular Nintendo Entertainment System. I think the first arcade game Little Man was drawn to was obviously, and it was in the slideshow, the Spider-Man arcade. It just swells my heart that he's such a superhero fan like me, and he loves Spider-Man. And even though Spider-Man may not be my guy, it's his guy, and I think that's really cool. We played some Street Fighter for a little bit, and I don't go easy on Little Man, I'm not gonna lie. If he starts getting too frustrated, like he wants to quit a game, I'll let him beat me. But I'm going to beat Little Man from time to time. Just because he's 5 years old doesn't mean I can't defeat him in a video game. You competitive dads out there will understand. They had traditional consoles, but I was a little disappointed that you were confined to one game. So they had a Sega Genesis, they had a Nintendo Entertainment System, and they had one more system. I don't believe it was Nintendo. I think it was another Sega system. And they only had one game in all 3 of the consoles. They did have Duck Hunt in the Nintendo Entertainment System, and Little Man and I had a lot of fun with Duck Hunt. Let's see, what else did they have? They had Knockout, Mike Tyson's Knockout. I think that's the name of the game. They had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I played Space Invaders. I don't know if I got that in my slideshow, if I took any pictures or whatever. I always heard about Space Invaders and how integral Space Invaders is to the development of video game technology and computer programming, and it just means a lot to video gaming and technology, and I'm just excited to play Space Invaders. And I'm not gonna lie, I was trash. I didn't make it past one level on Space Invaders, and I quickly got over the game. I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind very rudimentary old games, but Space Invaders was a little bit too old for me. For you old heads out there, I'm sorry to say that. Forgive me. I'm glad. I will say I'm glad I can say I played Space Invaders. Maybe if I had more time at this arcade, I would give Space Invaders a greater chance. There's also some motorcycle game that I seem to remember from my childhood. Little Man had fun with that. I mentioned Hydro Thunder. He got kind of frustrated with Hydro Thunder. We did Crazy Taxi. That's a game I had on my Sega Dreamcast from my childhood. We sucked at it. I think we got like 2 passengers to their locations on Crazy Taxi. There's some thunder rolling in. I hope you guys can't hear it. But yeah, it was a treat playing Crazy Taxi. I ended up playing this random game called Tubing, where you're this guy in an air tube, and you paddle with your... If you want to paddle with your left arm, your guy will turn right. If you want to paddle with your right arm, your guy will turn left. And you can press both the paddle buttons at the same time to go straight. That was an interesting game, but I kept waiting for... it was definitely one of those old school high score games. And it's kind of like Galaga. It just never ends. I kept waiting for the next level to start, and it just kept going. I just kept tubing down the river. And finally, I just game over and got off the game. Interesting little game. We played Cruisin'. They had Cruisin' USA there. That's always a treat. I love playing Cruisin' USA. I'm trash at the game. I had it on easy mode, and I was using the Ferrari, and I still couldn't win a single race. I came in second a couple times. I even set like a high score. I didn't get the number one high score, but I got on the high score list for one of the games, or one of the races on Cruis'n USA. So my initials are on their arcade machine now. I think the hit game of the day, it's in the slideshow, Lucky and Wild. It's a really unique arcade game. The person on the left side of the bench will drive the car and then hold one handgun, and then the person on the right. Well, the person on the right, the configuration just depends on you and your partner. You can even set up for 3 players if you'd like, But the setup of this arcade game, you had a steering wheel and a gas and a brake on the left side, and you had 2 handguns that looked like Colt 45s. I think that's the name of that gun. Oh shoot! I'm all you gun nerds out there are gonna crucify me. I'm just not even gonna worry about the name of that gun, but it just reminded me of that famous Colt gun that so many gun enthusiasts appreciate. But and then you have 2 handguns. So you could have somebody in the middle and somebody on the outside. 1 person per gun. You could have the person on the right doing both guns, or you could do like me and Little Man did, where he had 1 gun. Him being a little smaller, I wasn't sure if he could handle 2 handguns, and I wanted to shoot anyways. Let's be real, I wanted to shoot along with my little man, right? And I drove the car. So the premise is you're basically 2 cops in a car, and you're car chasing, and you're shooting down all these mobster vehicles. It was a really fun game. I liked it. I could have played it a lot longer, but Little Man had other plans. Overall, I think it was a successful trip. I don't regret making an hour drive to this arcade. If I lived a lot more locally, a lot closer, I definitely would go visit that arcade a lot more. It's definitely priced reasonable. I think it was $14 for me and Little Man. Now, they probably should do a little kid discount. 8 years old and under, you get in for 25, 30% off. I don't know. What I would do if I owned that business. So paying $14 for a little kid is a little much, but paying $14 for me is great. I got my money's worth. I felt like I could have definitely spent a lot more time in that arcade. But Little Man's got some ADHD, and he's just bouncing from game to game to game to game. And oddly enough, he was playing Area 51. He was playing House of the Dead with me. Monsters, scary horror games, guts, and the zombie ooze and all this stuff coming out, at the screen. And the game that terrorized my son, that scared him the most, was Emergency Ambulance. And it was this game that's pretty much a knockoff of Crazy Taxi. And the premise of it is you have a patient in your ambulance, and you're just trying to get from point A to point B in a certain time frame. And if you don't make it in your certain time frame, your patient dies. It goes to a flat screen, and it's, your patient dies, boo-hoo, or whatever. That was the game that traumatized my son. Not the monster zombie game. None of the mega violent, shooting games. Emergency Ambulance. So I don't think being a paramedic is in Little Man's future. I don't think I'd go back again because of the fact that it's a little pricey for Little Man to play games. They need to do some kind of discount or something for little kids, in my opinion. And it's an hour away. But other than that, again, if I lived much closer, it's a great place to meet up with buddies. If you're definitely an old school enthusiast and you live near New Hope, Alabama, I don't imagine any of my viewers live near New Hope, Alabama, but maybe you do. Maybe you do. It's out there. It's definitely what the rest of the country thinks of Alabama is definitely a place like New Hope. It's not near the city, so it's kind of a random spot for an arcade. But you know, so if you live local, if you're near New Hope, I encourage you to go check it out. Rocket City Arcade. It's about $15 after tax per person. So may not want to take kids unless you got like a 10-year-old that loves arcades. Just for me, I don't think my son got his money's worth having the ADHD bouncing from game to game to game. But it wasn't. I don't want to complain too much about the ADHD. We were on a limited time schedule. We were just out there to get a break, just to bond for a couple hours. So it kind of helped. It kind of was a blessing in disguise that his ADHD kicked in, and we had plenty of time to explore most of the cabinets there. I will also add, we didn't pay extra for the virtual reality, but they have virtual reality at this arcade, and it does cost extra, but if you're into that kind of thing, or maybe you could do virtual reality only to make it a little cheaper. If you're into virtual reality, that is an option. My dog is fixing to bark. I'm going to get off here. Until next time, guys. I just want to take some time at the end of this video to do some quick house cleaning. You know, tell you guys just how I'm doing. I know it's been 2 weeks since I've posted a video. I have warned you guys that I don't know when and where the videos are going to come from, but I'm going to try and get them out there. Now, I've got a several-hour break today. My son is downstairs with my wife. They're having a play date today. One of my wife's best friends has a son almost exactly the same age as my son's. Perfect match made in heaven, right? So they're down there enjoying each other's company, and baby Georgia June Ball is down there as well. They're getting much love and affection from my wife and my wife's friend who came over to see the baby. So that is going on. So I'm going to try and record multiple videos today. I'm going to try and get some content out next week that I will probably have backlogged from today. Georgia baby June is doing wonderful, guys. Those of you that care, she didn't even get jaundice. My son got jaundice. We had to stay an extra day in the hospital. Had to put him under the light that they put them under for jaundice. Did not have to do it this time around. Labor went, not to be TMI, but labor and delivery went extremely fast. It surprised us. We checked in by 5 a.m. By 6 a.m. we were starting the Pitocin. You ladies out there can correct me. The Pitocin, the hormone that gets things going. And I think by 1:30 in the afternoon we had little baby Georgia in our arms. And she's just been a blessing. She's been great. She's got her days and nights mixed up. All you parents out there know that struggle. So it's just hard for me to find time, even when I've got downtime. You know, I'm working night shift right now to keep my wife's sanity. She sleeps during the night. She wakes up like once or twice to pump, and then she goes right back to sleep, and I stay up to do the feedings and things. But while Georgia has her days and nights mixed up, I just really don't feel comfortable trying to come up here and film content. Even though we have a camera and a monitor, I just would rather not do that. So times like this, where I'm truly away, I'm truly hands-free, is when I will record content. Moving forward, at least until 2024, I expect by Christmas time, things are going to level out with Georgia. She's going to be sleeping a lot more, and I'm going to possibly find some kind of routine where I can record content routinely by the holidays or a little bit after the holidays. What else do I want to say? Just again, thank you guys for supporting this channel, sticking with me. I don't know if I've lost any subscribers. I imagine I probably have, because I don't want to say I've gone MIA. I've been trying to support you guys. I got back in touch with Comic Book Canon. I watched their live stream Sunday night, and I missed 22 comics, top 10 alternatives, but I watched his replay. I've been trying to catch back up on Fanboy Prime's content. I think I watched my first ever positivity video from Collecting with Durs. I'm in the middle of watching a Three Good Nerds video. Super Russ just got another comic book in his Dark Phoenix Saga collection. Happy for you, Russ. I'm a little tired, guys, so the names are a little fuzzy. And there's so many more people out there that are doing great content. I know Trev's on his road to 1K. Phil, I watched Phil's video on Deadpool 3. That was great. I think I was in the Saturday morning stretch for Fanboy Prime this past Saturday. Hoping to be there tomorrow. I'm hoping to make David Comics and Wrestling's Saturday morning stream as well. Covering night shift for my wife. I am awake that early, so I think I got to be in there for a few minutes last week. Neil Collects, I didn't forget about you. I need to catch up on your content. Shane, I remember you went back to your old school name because I remember you said in a video that you looked at your art from Phil and it just made you want to go back to your old Wolf Mojo. I can't remember your name, but I need to. I think I'm caught up on your channel, but I need to make sure I'm caught up on your channel. I think that about covers it. If I missed your name, go support everybody out there in the community, the people I named in this video. I'm trying to stay present in the community and support everybody, and that'll do me. Until next time, guys.